This is a quick video on moving from GTViewer 14 or 15 to GTViewer 20. And the topic of this video is toolbars. We're looking at GTViewer 15 here, and you can see the main toolbar and the red line or session graphics toolbar below it. I'm going to slide in GTViewer 20 underneath here so we can compare. And first of all, you should notice that they're a lot larger. They're more colorful and they're better drawn. And I'm going to go through in detail the differences between 14 and 15 and 20. Here's the toolbars taken out of the apps and shown side by side. You may notice that there are a lot of similarities, but they are redrawn and there's more detail in the new ones, as well as them being a lot larger. And there's several toolbar buttons that have been removed, and there's a few that have been added. And I'm going to quickly run through all those differences. Let's look at the main toolbar first. On the top row, we have GTViewer 15, and on the bottom row, we have GTViewer 20. Now, I've stretched it out because so we can pair up the groupings, but I really just cut the toolbar and slid it over. And when I remove something, I'll show it in red. And if something's actually moved around, I showed an arrow. And if it's something new, I put a little up arrow underneath it. So the first set of icons are all the file and printing icons. Those are the same. The next group is the attribute info and attribute info zoom, I should say, or just a zoom, a pan. One thing that got added in GTViewer 20 is a proximity search, and that's stuck in there with them because it's sort of similar. The next group is the fits. There was a new fit added, fit highlights. And the next section is the view history and the refresh. The refresh got moved over a little bit. The go back in the view history is a different icon, but it's in the similar position. And what's been added is you can also go back forward in the view history in GTViewer 20. And the next section, GTViewer 15 had two display managers. It had the old display filter, and then it had a new display manager. There were some things that weren't in the new display manager, so I left both versions in GTViewer 15, and that may have been confusing to everybody, but you got to pick which one you wanted, or you could use both. Now in GTViewer 20, everything missing from the display manager has been added. So the old display filter has been taken out completely. And the new display manager is even better than the one that was in GTViewer 15. Now, one thing that has moved is the emphasize session graphics and the hide show raster button. They used to be farther down in the toolbar, and they're just moved up closer to the rest of the view commands. The next two items are the overview window and the magnify window. These are fairly close by here. And the one thing that's different is the measure got moved over into that group because now that grouping is considered tools. And then the next group is the GPS commands. That's pretty much the same. And the last item here is the about. It basically shows the about screen, either the question mark or the I. Now the old GT field icons that were in GTViewer 15, they've been removed. They're still on the menus, but they've been removed. And also the fence extract to make a GTX file, it's been removed from the toolbar, but it's still on the tools menu, so it's still there. It was one of those things that wasn't used very much, so it got moved to just to the menus. The redline toolbar, or the session graphics toolbar, really hasn't changed much at all, other than having better icons for the toolbar buttons. The first three items are the same. In the old toolbar, there was the fill or unfill button for selected graphics has been removed, but that's because it's on the little drawing info dialog when you actually draw the elements in the view. So it was redundant to have it there and in the other place at the same time. I think it makes more sense on the drawing info dialog anyway, so I think it's all around good to have it removed. The next toolbar is the undo. In GTViewer 14 and 15, undo was undo once, and if you did it again, it redid the thing you undid. So it was just a one step. In GTViewer 20, it's unlimited undo and an unlimited redo. So the first button is the undo button that you can use more than once, and then there's another button to redo, so you can build back the stuff that you undid. The next section is the delete, the copy, the paste, and they're the same. They're just drawn better. The next section is the actual drawing tools. They're the same. They're just drawn better. And then the last thing that's new here, the search redline text or redline embedded data. It used to be an external app, and now it's part of GTViewer, and that's what the red binoculars are. One thing I forgot to mention was these icons here were removed from GTViewer 20. These were added to support touchscreens because touchscreens in GTViewer 15 were just rerouting the either the scroll bars or the mouse buttons. They were all being used to simulate the touch, and there was no way to do like a multi-finger rotate or scale. So you use these buttons and you could do it with touch because you could touch the buttons. And since now in GTViewer 20 you can use multiple fingers to scale, rotate, and drag things around, you don't need these buttons, so they were removed. If we look at GTViewer 20, you've always been able to do this. If you hover over the buttons, it'll tell you what they do. It may not tell you a lot of information, but if you're unsure what it is, it'll at least tell you the name and a very brief description of what it does. And then you can use that to either go to the documentation, look it up, or just poke around and see what they do. But they all have a tooltip and they all have a description. So you should be able to figure it out without too much trouble. And since everything's in relatively the same place, it should be a straightforward move, but I always want to give some explicit migration instructions just in case somebody sees it and think that it's totally different and they don't know how to do anything. So thanks for watching, and there'll be another short video soon.